Welcome back to another live here with Design Bundles. We are so excited to have you guys here with us today. We are going to be creating a beer can glass wrap. So this is going to be a full wrap with adhesive vinyl that's going to go all the way around one of these beer can glasses here. Now we've done previous videos adding some full wraps here. We have them linked here on the channel if you want to check them out. But today we're super excited because we're going to play around with the color changing adhesive vinyl. So I've got a few sheets here, and the way that this works is once we add, that's why I've got a full glass of water here with ice. Once we add this into the cup, it's going to change the colors of these. Now, the brand that I'm actually using today is the HTV RONT. So I think it's HTV RONT. I never know how to say that, but you can get them for cold as well as hot. So cold sensitive or hot sensitive. So whether you're using them for your coffees and hot teas or whether you're going to be using them for your iced teas. So we have a lot of fun wraps for these beer can glasses or single designs over on designbundles.net. So definitely make sure you check them out. We do have this file linked down below for you guys. Now, as you guys are joining, please let us know, where are you guys crafting from? How is the weather? And if you guys have any questions along the way, make sure you drop those down in the comments and we will be down there so we can help answer those. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so jumping right into Cricut Design Space, I have already uploaded the file and brought it right in here. So we have three colors going on here. We have yellow, we have green, and we have pink. Now, I didn't have a green, so I'm actually going to use a blue today, but you can definitely check out. There's lots of different brands out on the market that carry this stuff, but like I said, I'll have this one linked down below for y'all. So we have three different layers here, and the way that these are going to do is they're going to kind of just layer next to one another. So I'm actually going to show you guys how to layer all of these together using a piece of parchment paper, and then we're going to put all of that on at one time. All right, so we are ready to go. The way that our files are designed out, they are designed to be ready to go. So that, there's no sizing that you have to do. If you're going to use them for the beer can glass that they're designed for, they're already sized out for you. So all you simply have to do is upload them, whether you're using Cricut Design Space or whether you're using your Silhouette or whatever die cutting machine that you are using. You're simply just going to upload it and then you're going to be ready to make it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Make It. And I'm actually going to go ahead and back it up here because I'm catching myself making a mistake. You see where it says Maker 3? I'm actually going to be using the Cricut Explorer 3 today. So I'm going to go ahead and change that there. And now we're going to hit Make It. All right, so over here, we're going to choose whether it's on the mat since we're using the Cricut Explorer 3. So I'm going to choose that I'm cutting on the mat today. And then we can choose our mat size. So with the new update, now it lets us choose whether we're using a 12 by 12 or the 12 by 24. So I'm going to choose that 12 by 12. So let's go ahead and hit continue. Now, when you're working with adhesive vinyl, if you're new to using adhesive vinyl, you do not have to mirror. So the only time you need to mirror is if you are doing, say, for example, an iron-on project, or if you were using sublimation, print and cut. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get ready for our first one. So what we want to do is cut this down to 5 inches. I'm going to go ahead and cut them all down to about 5 inches. So let's go ahead and cut down our material here. Now, the first one we're doing is the yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And then it's going to load my Cricut Explorer 3. I've already got it turned on and ready to go. So give it just a second and we're going to choose that material. All right, so we're going to go over here and choose Premium Vinyl Permanent Glossy is what I'm going to choose, and that's going to cut it just fine. All right, so now what it's telling us to do is get ready to load. So let's go and drop that camera down so we can get ready to cut it out. All right, so let's get ready. Number one, I need to cut down my material. So let's go ahead and get that in here. Once again, if you guys are just now joining us, we are working on a beer can glass. You guys let me know in the comments below, have you guys made any of these beer can glasses? They are a ton of fun. We have linked below the glasses that we're using as well as the lids and straws. So we have all of that in the description for you. All right, so all of these are going to be cut down to that 5 inches. So we're going to start there. And let me actually see about how wide these are. I think they're going to be wide enough. Let me double check over here on Cricut Design Space. All right, so we're going to cut it in this way. Because these are about, I think these are about 9.5. So I'm going to go ahead and cut mine this way just to be safe. So we're going to cut it to that 5 inches. I'm giving myself a little bit of wiggle room just to be safe. And I'm going to cut all of these colors down. And then once again, I will be loading that yellow first. So like I said, let me know if you guys have made any of these. These beer can glasses are so much fun. And also, if you guys are going to be in the market to sell these, you guys plan on selling these, whether you're selling them online or a local, booth or something like that, boutique. These are, I hope I did not cut that at 4 inches. I think I possibly did. No, I didn't. These are selling for around $30. I know, hold yourselves. I'm telling you, $30 these things are selling for. So they are good profit. All right, so we're going to take, I've got a fresh blue mat here. We're ready to go. We're going to load that yellow one first. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to load it with face up. So I've got the paper side down. I like using the blue mat. It's one of my favorites. And now we're going to get ready to load it. All right, so I'm just simply loading this in my machine and hitting that load button. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera up here so that way you guys can maybe see a little bit better. I know you guys can't see the Cricut in this view, but hopefully it's going to help you out a little bit. And then you can see me weeding and all the things. So we're just waiting on that flash and go. There's our first one. Like I said, we're cutting out the yellow. The next one's going to be our blue and then our pink. Now, the way to double check these, I'm going to show y'all really quick. I've got some ice in here. So the way that these work is if you put your ice on there, you guys can hopefully see that color start to change there. You can see that color. So in case you forget which one's which, you guys can definitely do that. I'm going to go ahead and dry this guy back off here. All right. I doubt we want to load it into our Cricut machine wet. Now, you guys let me know if you guys have tried out any of the color changing materials. This is adhesive vinyl. And like I said, we have the exact one I'm using below. The package, for example, it comes with a few more colors, and then it does come with 2 sheets of the transfer tape. So the ones particular that we showed you comes with your adhesive vinyl as well as your transfer sheets. Now, like I said, there is other brands. I'll try to link some more if you guys would like. We have those down in the description. This file that I'm using is so cute, but we do have more. And we even have some in our Plus membership. So if you guys are a Plus member, we do have lots of beer can glass wraps in the Plus membership area. Now, first one's ready to go. We're going to get ready to weed this, guys. We're going to unload it. The best way I like to do this, if you guys are new, you're going to flip your mat upside down and you're going to peel your mat off of your material. It's going to keep it from, warping or kind of twisting up on us. All right, our next one's the blue. So we are going to get ready to load our next one. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and load that second color. I'm going to go ahead and choose premium vinyl again. Now you can go ahead and click the check mark over on Cricut Design Space that says remember material settings, and that's going to remember it for the next time. If you guys just heard that, it's bumped into some of the stuff back behind here. All right, so we are almost ready to go. We're going to get that flash here. All right, here we go. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start to weed this out here. So let me go ahead and get my weeding tool here and we'll start to weed. Like I said, if you guys have any comments, we will be down in the comment section below and we'll be answering all of those questions. All right, so this material is a little bit thicker, so I'm just going to help it while I weed. So whenever I go to weed, I'm just going to kind of push against it. So what I would do, I'm going to try it with my next one, is I'm going to give it just a tiny bit. No, I don't even think I need more pressure because, I mean, it cut it perfect. It's just I'm having to help it along the way to get it to let go of it. So it's no big deal. So you notice I'm using my weeding tool here, and I'm just kind of pressing down. I definitely don't think it needs more force because it's cut all the way through. And we're just going to continue to weed it out. All right. There we go. I'm just going to keep on trucking. Just got a few more pieces, and then the rest of that's is cutting out for us. Now, like I said, in the comments below, you guys let me know, have you guys played around with the color changing? And have you guys made any of these beer can glasses? Are you guys selling them? Do you make them for yourself, your friends and family? These are going to be perfect for summertime. Also, we have Father's Day coming up. Mother's Day would be a great gift as well. Graduation. Tons and tons of ideas when it comes to these. All right, so I think I have all of those. And like I said, this stuff is fairly thick. So, and I don't know if that's all the way. This is my first time playing with the color changing adhesive vinyl. So I don't know if that's across the board with all brands. We're going to go ahead and flip this guy over, remove it. And then we're going to go ahead and get the next one. All right. So now we've got our pink layer. This is our last one, and we're going to go ahead and load it. Hopefully it does not hit the rest of that stuff back there again. It's going to run through for us. In the meantime, let's go ahead and start to weed out the next one here. Yep, it's going to hit it. And then, you know, I had a little piece here. I could have actually gotten my scissors out and really saved that, but I'm not going to really fuss with it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and hit go. This one definitely seems to let go just a little bit better. It's still just as thick. All right, I can try to hit go on that. It is still a little bit thick like the other one, but it definitely seems to let go a little bit easier. So you guys can hopefully see that there. This one's a lighter color, so it almost seems white. So this one may be a little bit harder for you guys to kind of see on camera over there. All right. So I'm just weeding out these pieces. And then, like I said, I'm going to show you guys how to combine all of these layers together so that way you can load them all at the same time. All right, so I think I've got all my pieces there. I messed one piece, so I'm just going to drop it back down like so. And then carefully pick this guy back up. There we go. All right, looks good to me. Pull this guy out of the way. I do have a few pieces on the inside of the other one I still got to release as well. And then I'm going to drop the camera back down just so you guys can see me layering this out. All right, so here we go. Now, you guys let me know if you guys would like to see something just as similar with the hot one. So if you guys want to see another project done with the hot, so maybe we'll do it on a coffee mug, let me know. I'll definitely get it done. All right. Now, remember, if you guys have not already joined our Facebook community group, that's where we do giveaways. We have promo codes, lots of other crafters over there, lots of inspiration. And when you guys have a question, either one of us or one of the community members can help answer that pretty quickly. So we have that in the description below. And also, I believe Brittany will probably put that in the comments. All right, so we're going to go ahead and weed out my last one here. So this is that pink. This is going to be our watermelon. All right, we're almost there. There we go. 1 second, guys. I'm going to go ahead and quickly weed through this. It's like trying to multitask. If you guys are just now joining us, we are doing a full wrap color changing beer can glass. And also, if you guys are just now joining us, if this is something you guys are wanting to get into to sell, these are selling for $30. And I think that is absolutely amazing. I think the crafting market for the selling, if you will, for the crafters has truly came a long way with our current, pandemic. It has allowed, I think, the crafters to kind of shine a little bit. And we're starting to see a lot of sales on those tumblers and t-shirts and things like that. A lot of homemade stuff. So that's really exciting for us crafters. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I think I've just got a few more little pieces here, and then I'm going to show you guys that trick. So if you guys have not seen it yet, you can use parchment paper. You preferably want to use the white parchment paper, which you can get a roll of it at, the Dollar General, your local grocery store. But if you want to use these sheets, so if you guys purchase these sheets like this, of the bacon sheets, you guys could definitely use those as well. Now, so just a few seconds, like I said, and I'm going to show you guys that trick. Now, I do have them on the way. I have ordered. They actually the same price. These baking sheets, you can get them in white. And I should have those linked down below for you guys. But I have found them in white finally. So I'm super excited about that. I like them because they're already pre-ready for us. So you can see I could have trimmed this away and I still could do that. If I wanted to trim this off and put it back, I could save a little bit more of that. All right, so I'm going to go through here quickly and pop all of these pieces out. So while I do this, I'm going to go ahead and drop my camera down below just so you guys can see this here. And I'm hoping you guys can pick up on these pieces because I know that color blue almost looks yellow. You can see the yellow here. It's super light. And then we have our light pink. So let me continue to weed out these last few pieces here. I wish I knew where... because this might be a job for like my stab and grab. Let me get it. This is a little bit of a thicker material, like I said. It's not that it can't weed, but I really think this would be the job for like a pin or even like these stab and grabs, like I said. Let me bring back in that Cricut weeding tool. It's completely cut out, but it's just wanting to let go of itself. It's like, let it go. And we've got a ton of these little pieces to go through. So bear with me for just a second while I pop all of these guys out. All right, almost. There we go. And maybe. Like I said, it's one of those things that's just like, it's super thick. Super, super thick. I'm excited about it, but it is a really thick material. Anybody have any tips and tricks for using or weeding out really thick material? I want to hear about it in the comments below. What is your tips and tricks for weeding? All right, here we go. And like I said, it's more that it's thick. And I don't think it needs more pressure because the cut is perfect. It's just so thick of getting your weeding tool in there in a sense, and then getting it to just kind of let go of itself. Sometimes a little trick I do too is, say for example, I've pulled this up, I'll stick that sticky back down, and that sticky alone will help pick up the next one. That's something that I've kind of done too. Just another little tip in case you guys didn't know that one. Now we're almost done. I think I've got one more piece on this pink, and then we're going to pop on over to the yellow. I think I have one or two pieces to weed out on that yellow, and then we will be good to go. All right, jumping over to here, I do think each center of the flower has one. So we have 1, 2, and we have 3. These ones aren't too bad with popping out. And then that's it. All right, there we go. So we've got all of these pieces weeded out. Now we're ready to go. And what's really cool is you can still see the vinyl in a sense, which I'm going to show you all in a second, but you're really going to get the cool effect once you add in that ice. All right, so here we go. So let's start layering these guys up. So let's start with our blue layer. So you want to pick up that first layer, what you're going to consider your first layer, right? So let's go ahead and trim down a piece of this transfer here. So I'm going to go ahead and get back out my piece here. Now I don't want this to be bigger. I'm going to do 4 inches because I don't want it to be bigger or too much taller than my glass, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do 4 inches high for this material here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and hit done over here in Cricut Design Space just so I can see that design over here. I'm going to scooch the whole thing over so I can see it. Sometimes it helps to pull back open that design so that way you guys can see what you're working with here. All right, so we're going to do our blue, which is technically green because your leaves and all of that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down like a taco. All right, just like so. And then I'm going to take a squeegee here, and we're going to go ahead and get our first piece picked up. Now I've got a little bit of that circle popping out there, but I'm not concerned about that at all. All right, here we go. So now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure on that length there, I think I can trim away a couple of these. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of a little bit of that so we don't have too much excess. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to flip this guy over, get it filled up. And this is using their transfer. You can use whatever transfer tape you'd like, but theirs comes with some. Okay. And so now what I need to do is we're going to pop this underneath here. And I'm hoping y'all can see this. So hopefully y'all guys can see through here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this guy up here. So that way now I can see through here to line this up. Let's see here. Trying to just bear with me for just a second while I line this guy up a little bit. All right, I think this is going to be the golden ticket. So I'm going to go ahead. Give me just a second. I'm going to I have a piece of white parchment. All right, so I've got my white parchment. This should hopefully be a little easier to see through. Hopefully you guys can see that. This is going to help us a little better. Now I'm going to bring it down where I'm going to be able to combine these. And now we're going to take this top sheet here. And I'm going to get this right on top here. And now I'm going to try to see through here and try to line this guy up. All right. And I'm going to roll with something right about here. So now what I need to do, I'm going to do this. I'm going to fold back the parchment just so I can get a little piece to stick down because I didn't have a window to stick anything down. There we go. So I've got a corner there. You just need something to get that corner. And then you're just going to lift up your parchment. We're going to get this out of our way. And nice and slowly, we're going to drop that down. There we go. From one side to the next. So now, so basically you just got to have that little corner somewhere to get that to attach to it. And that is perfectly going to line up with the next. So I'm just going to go ahead and rub these down, basically rubbing in the pink pieces so that way it'll pick them up. All right, because we've already obviously attached the blue-green. Okay, now let's do that one more time. So we're going to peel this up. So you can see I've got my 2 layers now. Hopefully you guys can see that. So now we have our 2 layers. So we're going to come back in again. We're going to bring back in the parchment. You guys let me know in the comments below if you guys have done this parchment paper hat. All right. And then now we're going to bring in our next one. So I do believe that we should be, I want to double check what direction we should be in. Let's see here. I'm trying to make sure I'm putting this in the correct direction. All right, so yes, it's going to go just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my parchment paper back up here. And now we're going to line it up again. So I'm just kind of looking through here. And I may have to pick mine up just a little bit so I can see myself. All right. I think that's going to look great. Double checking myself. Now, once again, what I'm doing is I'm going to peel over. So I'm holding down that bottom. I'm going to just get a piece of that tape there. And then carefully, nice and slowly, I'm going to get rid of that parchment. And then from one side to the next, I'm slowly putting that thing down. And there we go. We have all 3 layers. So now I'm just going to go ahead and rub in all of those yellow layers here. All right. So just rub all of our layers. There we have it. So now what we're going to do is fill it up. So now we have all 3 layers. Oops, one piece try to come up with me. We have all 3 layers in one piece. So now you can see how everything lines up super nice. I'm going to be able to attach this together. Now, what you need to do with this, so you have your bear can glass, you're going to remove your lid if it comes with the lid or you purchase that separately. Go ahead and get a lint-free cloth. So you're going to take a lint-free cloth and you're going to clean up any sort of oils or debris. So I'm just going over every bit of this really quickly. All right. And now you can use, if you have a squeegee like this where it has the 2 lines, you can lay this here. All right. And then we are going to get it from this direction here. And I am going to find a center here. So we're just going to go ahead and do it here. So what I like to do, so I've got it down. It's on the center. I like to roll mine to the right. All right. Get that. And then I'll start to roll it to the left. Now, if it's going to overlap like this one's going to do here, all I'm going to simply do is lift back up this side here. All right. And now we're going to carefully lay down this side. So it's so easy. You've seen how easy that was to wrap. Now what I'm going to do, you can use your fingers or you can take that squeegee and we're just going to go ahead and rub it down to get all of our pieces to adhere. All right, so we're just gonna rub. You guys can already see that super fun design, but it's gonna be so much more fun when we add in the coal. So you guys are about to see it. All right, so here we go. So I think I've went around that entire thing. So let's go ahead and start from this way and work our way around. If anything's trying to come back up with you, you could just work that back down. So hopefully you guys can see everything here. And I did lose a little dot, so I'm going to carefully get that guy back down. Continue to peel. And you can go over everything again. Once you're done here, you can go over all of these. Now, I would hand wash this. So you can wash it in your sink, but it means dipping it in, getting some water and hand washing that. And getting your, your wash rag in here, but being real gentle with your outside. You don't want to dishwash these because it's adhesive vinyl. And then now you can just work out any sort of bubbles and continue to rub all that down with your fingers. But look at how cute this is. So cute, but it's going to be so much more fun once we add our liquid. All right, so let's switch the camera up here. If you guys will give me just a second, I'm going to go ahead and drop some of this out of our way so it's not such a big mess. So I think we've just got a few more pieces and then we will get started. All right, so hopefully you guys can see the magic here. You guys can see the cup. And then now we're going to go ahead and add in the water. Hopefully I did not make a mess. So when you start to add in your liquid, so I've got some ice water here, you're going to see that color start to change. So just dropping it in. And there you guys have it. Can you guys see how cool that is? Hopefully you guys can see all of those colors starting to come into effect and play. Is this not the cutest thing ever? I love it. Color changing vinyl is so much fun, guys. I have seen lots of little videos on Instagram and things like that, but I personally have not played with it. And I'm telling you guys, I am obsessed. So now you're simply going to add your straw in your lid, and it's gorgeous. I love it. That is so, so cool. And then once again, you can get it for hot, so you can do your hot coffees and teas and things like that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you guys did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and we'll see you